Hey guys, so what we're doing here is I'm just going through a quick script. I've got my player making animations, which is just my player character going in there. You can see the instance, and this here controls the backwards, which is your S key, and that's controlled to W, which is your forwards key. As to what to do here, I've got that set as forward, as you can see, and this one here is set as backward. And I'm just referencing the same target as you can see there. With that, the speed value is being used, and it's 0.1001. That's reflected value. The reason why I've done 0. Whatever it is just well, I'll show you why actually in a sec. Here we go. Current speed. You've got your value, target, and that there is in fact a 0. And we're using the vertical axis because I read up inside of the Mecanim tutorial that that's the one you use for forwards and backwards. And as you can see there, we're referencing the speed variable, parameter, sorry, as our thing was setting float. Okay, so that's that, and down here I've got the left and right. Now why I've done this slightly different, this part here, same deal, that's all the same. What's different is this. As you can see there, it's going from that one into this, and I'm using none as the control input for this. The reason for that is that actually, this thing's not even connected to anything right now, so what I was trying to do, okay, I'll explain that then. I'm just going to move this guy out the way for a sec. So what I've been trying to do is, the character seems to snap a little bit left and right, and I thought if I maybe use something like that coming from there, so if it detects a key and it's not this key and it's not that key there, and of course it's not these two keys either. I mean, I could have just used one thing. I've just sort of split them up just because whatever. But if it doesn't detect either of those keys, W, A, S, or D, it would technically be a none key that's pressed. And then I was going to go from none using the input held, because input held seems to be a constant, so it changes, fluctuates from -1 right up through as a smooth sort of transition, whereas these other ones, they seem to be just like it's either at 0, -1, or 1, and it just clicks between the three using this system input up, so they seem to be off or on pretty much. Yeah, like a boolean instead of an integer. Okay, so then we go out and do the same deal here. You can see here I've got this set to going right, so when you press D on your keyboard, your character should be walking right. Same speed setting there. I'm just using the same variable, but I've renamed it, so we've got two different ones if I want to make them different, and those are all exposed variables. Yeah, forgot the name. Alright, so with no further ado, let's get to it. So you can see what we've got hooked up. Yeah, I'll better go back into that now. That's my testing scene there. There's a couple of weird glitches in that. Maybe someone can give me some pointers with that too. I'm just quickly going to compile this, because I don't think it compiled before. Okay. Now, I'll quickly show a few things in here. I just got a camera attached to my player, as you can see there. The Uscript. The cube is the ground mesh, and then this sphere would be, I can just drop it inside of the cube. I don't know if it really matters. Or I can drop it out. It's kind of whatever. So the sphere is using a mesh collider, so my player runs into it, and I'm not sure if any of this is right, so if someone could give some tips on that, maybe that's what's causing this other glitch where the player seems to sort of hit it and launches off into space. And the cube is of course using a box collider, which seemed to be logical since it's, you know, a cube and all that. My player is, you can see there, I've created a capsule collider with those sort of settings so that it fits around the player. Direction I've put to Y axis. I really don't fully get why I did that, but yeah, I think it's because my character's going to walk along the X. Wait, isn't Y up and down? Anyway, I'm a little confused with all this, as you may or may not know. I've got freeze rotation put on, set that up. This is all pretty much what they did to their character in there. And don't laugh, this is my first retopologized character here, so it's all for testing. But we can get our character to do some stuff, hopefully. Alright, so let's go through this a bit more here. So we've got our, done that. That's the Uscript. You can see the exposed variables. Now this game character, as you can tell, is using the Jacksimation, which is just a graphic name I came up with for this, which is the animator controller. Okay, we've got any state, which is the empty state. Walk forwards. I've ticked feed IK. Maybe I'm not meant to do that, and I've got that for backwards and for idle. Great. Go away. Play idle animation. So you can see there, does the player idle animation. I've set these up like this. This may also be completely wrong. I've got the pose looped with no offset. The start is based upon body orientation, apparently. I'm not sure why. Original? I don't actually know what the difference is. Body orientation, original. Maybe that should be original. Maybe that's what's causing some of these problems. Center of mass. Yes, that's right. Now, the reason why I baked all this stuff into it is because without it baked, the camera starts to move around and you get very nauseous really quickly. So I'm guessing that I should have had those ticked because it looks better. Somewhat better, anyway. Okay, so you can see here we've got the transition here going down. Speed is less than 0.1. And going away from it, we've got speed is greater than 0.1. The transition, that's not right. Uh-oh. Yeah, I've gone and changed the wrong thing there, so I'm just gonna go down here and body orientation. Yeah, let's just do that, huh? Okay, so as you can see, walking away, walking to idle. It's not bad. I mean, you wouldn't write home to tell someone how awesomely amazing you thought it was, but it gets the job done. I mean, it's a little abrupt, but it's there. And you can see the keyframe kicks in. I'm not really sure how to make those a little smoother than that, or less abrupt, but in a way you kind of want them to be sort of abrupt in case the player makes quick changes. Same deal here, we've got the walking backwards. Now, this one seems to be doing something different, because this one here, yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw the player walk forwards. Okay, there must be a setting here I've got different. Okay, where are we? Animations, walk forward, 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 forward. Walk forwards, there we go. What are we baking? We're baking all three. That's backwards. And walk forwards. We aren't baking the XY. Oh, okay, right. Walk backwards, where are you? Let's uncheck that. Yeah, we'll apply that. At least that's going to help somewhat. Okay, so that looks nice, you know, he's walking backwards. Hey ho. And we've got the player walking backwards and coming to a halt. And it's not bad. It's a little abrupt, but not the end of the world. Looks nice enough. Okay, so that's okay. We go into it, and we can see we've got our 3 different states inside of the blend tree here. Player's walking forwards. If you push right, he starts walking right. Push left, he starts walking left. Pretty okay, and that looks fine in there, right? Looks fairly smooth. Why? What is he doing? Oh, he's walking. Yeah, I couldn't open up the FBX file to actually edit that, so he's got a little sloped posture there. It looks a little retarded, but until I can figure out how to actually fix up that kind of stuff so he's not walking around with a dump in his pants or something, I guess we're stuck with that kind of look. And walking backwards. Oops, I just pressed play on the game. Good one, Jax. Let's preview this first. Yep, and it's turning angles. I'm pretty sure he's supposed to walk around in a circle. Let's have a look at that script. Rotation is on. And the X and Y, no doubt, I'll bet. Okay, we'll probably have to do the same for the turning, walking backwards right. And that one there. Apply. Now that looks awkward. Which is probably just me picking the wrong sections of an animation sequence. So I can work with that. But it's better than what it was. At least we know that the player will technically move around. Okay, so we go back to this forwards one, just make sure I set that to 0. Yep, okay. Right, so all that said, and I'm just going to save that so it's all as is, and scene editor. Press play. Okay, so we can see here, character is stationary, no keys being pressed, and I forgot to click on that, but I can do it in game. Awesome. Okay, you can see the assigned turn speed, and I don't get why the move speed is 0.2, because I'm pretty sure both of those values inside of I'm pretty sure they were both that originally, so unless of course that's changed for some reason, I'd love to know why it keeps changing on me. Stop changing, 0.1001. There. Now let's see it change. That's right. Alright, so we press W. And you see there, it actually builds up in a gradient. Looks good, huh? It seems to blend quite nicely. Now this part here, this is where it gets a little funky. So I'm going to press W and then to the right. That looks good. Now, as you can see there, if I hold down W at this point to go forwards, it's like he's fighting against the animation itself. So he's not really walking forwards at the same speed. And if I face this way, he walks really quickly. So I'm not entirely sure what is going on with that. Oh no, I'm going to walk off the edge. Now if I walk backwards while I'm facing forwards, here we go. So I can walk backwards like this. That actually looks right. That looks pretty good, considering. So these are the problems here, okay? So I'm just going to stop that so we go back to start pose. Okay, so first problem, hold down W, press right, see that. Okay, well that's another one just there. Why did he just launch off into space? I'm not sure why. But see that. So if you look on the right hand side, you'll see the variables as I'm doing this. I'll just start again. Move back a bit. So if I press and let go, you'll see for a split second it goes to 0 to 1 to 0. So negative to 0. It sort of builds its way up. But once it gets to full throttle, it kind of stops. Like if it's at half throttle, there's a short delay in there. And I'm just pressing the, as you can see, I'm pressing the right direction, and it's not animating anything on its own, so I'm not sure why. Look at him, he's moonwalking. And so there's a few little problems in there, and I'm not really sure why. You see, if I'm walking forwards here, I would have thought that I could walk forwards. It looks smooth, except for that. So see how if I'm going full and I let go, he just snaps back to forwards? There's no real transition in there. I'll just walk off the edge here. I can't figure out how to make the gravity different either for my player. So this makes it a little more obvious, so we're not focused on what he's walking towards. Holding it down, snaps. Holding it down, let go, snaps. Instead of it being, see how it turns smoothly to go into it, but then it just clicks out of it, dead sharp. That's the part that I'm not sure how to fix. I mean, obviously these need to be fixed a bit more, so he's got a bit more of an angle in that way, because these are nice angles, and these bad angles. But that's neither here nor there. The left and rights, that's the other part. Not that someone should be able to press left and right necessarily, but it'd be good if there was an option for that. Anyway, that's the video of what's going on. Any help at all that I could get on how to make this work would be really appreciated. Thanks.